Zero running back, Dynasty, startup. How do you do it? This is how. We're going to show you a few examples of the best way that you can use a zero running back strategy to make your Dynasty teams better. Now, the first question, the obvious question is, what is a zero running back strategy? Okay. It's almost in the name. It's not quite in the name fully, though. Okay. You're not literally taking zero running backs. What you're doing is ignoring the running back position until around, 9, 10, maybe 8 if you want. But you're really focusing in on, especially in this kind of thing, you're looking at your quarterbacks because it's super flex. You're looking at wide receivers and you're looking at tight ends. You're sort of ignoring those running backs because you're hoping for one of two things to happen. One, you don't mind where you finish in your first year, called a productive struggle. You're happy to finish near the bottom so you can pick up elite running backs through your rookie drafts as you go on. Perfect example of this would have been last year where you could have picked up Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, and you turn that team from a pretender into a contender like that with the acquisition of 2 elite level running backs. Now, the other thing you can do is you can still play first year contender if you wait and you pick up some of these running backs like James Conner, who is older but will be going in those later rounds. He will still produce this year. He will still be on some rosters that are winning rosters this year. He is a startable championship asset. So there are kind of two ways to do it. My advice is you got to see how the draft starts. Going in with a mindset of this is how I'm going to do it, and then the draft starts to go one way, it is so difficult. It is so difficult. You're going to have to decide, are you going to really try and lock in these quarterbacks? Are you going to try and lock in these wide receivers? Are you going to flirt with a bit of both? That is the trickiest thing to do. You might think it's easier to lock up some of these positions because you're not doing any running backs. Sometimes it's real hard because the value is there. So what we're going to do here is we're going to try and see how this draft falls to us using the zero RB strategy. And I'll kind of talk you through what I'm thinking as it goes. Am I going productive struggle? Am I going for win now if possible? Let's find out. And for that, we're going to need to pull up our draft board, which is on Sleeper. I'm sure you will all recognize it very well. It is 12 teams. It is Superflex. It is not tight end premium. Now, this is something that happens on Sleeper on mock drafts when you're going against the computer. Quarterbacks kind of fly off the board quite quickly. Then there is this gap in the middle where no quarterbacks are taken. All right. That makes it incredibly hard to draft running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. So this will be an exercise about as tricky as you'll see in any draft that you do. So whatever you see here is probably worst case scenario for you. So it's probably a good exercise to watch and see what is going to happen. All these quarterbacks will then disappear in round number 17, okay? I'm going to try my best to try and keep the ADP for the quarterbacks and not try and cheat the system. We'll see how it goes, though, all right? So without further ado, let's get into it. And to choose what position I'm going to start with, I'm just going to go on how long we've done the stream for. It's just gone 3:51. So let's go with a 5 for 50, will we? So let's claim team number 5 and let's get this draft underway, shall we? Here we go. So as you expect, Mahomes off the board first. Goodness me, Justin Jefferson off second. That means Joe Burrow and Jalen Hurts fall to me. Man, what a choice. I'm happy with either. Let's just go with a guy that I have less of, right? I'm going to go Jalen Hurts. I don't have a lot of Jalen Hurts shares. You can't go wrong with either. Immediately, locking in an elite quarterback. At the minute, zero difference between any normal draft, all right? One thing that is disconcerting is there's not a lot of running backs going off the board, okay? So immediately I'm worried about my zero RB build because at the minute, only 3 have gone off the board. I would have loved more to go. So, for example, Jonathan Taylor to go, Saquon Barkley, even Jahmyr Gibbs to go. That would have been ideal because these young receivers have been hoovered up, which is slightly annoying. So I'm wondering now, do I go with my second quarterback. Because am I really wanting to take some of these young receivers in the second round? Actually, I'm pretty happy with two of them. Pretty happy with Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm pretty happy with Chris Olave. I'm going to go with the guy who I think has slightly more upside here in Chris Olave. I'm just wondering if Amon-Ra or Chris Olave will sneak back to me. They definitely won't. I'm going to go Chris Olave here, which is maybe a bit controversial. But I think what he did in his first year was spectacular. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown has slightly more competition, especially when Jameson Williams comes back and Sam Laporta starts catching passes. Yeah, give me Chris Olave over Amon-Ra St. Brown. But if I was doing 10 drafts, I would take Chris Olave 5 times. I would take St. Brown 5 times. It's not by a landslide by any means. So we've got people up here like a Stephon Diggs. This is kind of now where every single team here is in win now, right? All of them. It's now sort of the time where I'm thinking, what way am I looking to pivot? Yeah. Am I looking to take someone like a Tua Tagovailoa here? Or do I go super young with CJ Stroud? I think Tua might be the end of the elite quarterback tier, maybe barring Kyler Murray. So I'm looking at him pretty heavily here. I'm thinking now trade value. If I own Tua in a super flex league, someone says, hey, I'll give you Stephon Diggs for Tua Tagovailoa. I'm rejecting it. Right? I don't know about you. Tell me in the comments if you want. Would you make that trade? Because I wouldn't. I would reject it. If I was offered up T. Higgins for Tua Tagovailoa, I'm rejecting it as well. So I'm looking at the value here. Is there an elite tight end on the board? Yeah, there is. There's Mark Andrews and there's Kyle Pitts as well. I'm still a believer in Kyle Pitts. I think he is a unicorn. I think that he is the chance to be an absolute elite dynasty asset still. Mark Andrews is a guy. He's still young. He's still 27. But goddamn, I love the option here to get Kyle Pitts in the third round. I'm actually going to go Kyle Pitts over Tua because I think that is a deal that people would get done in a straight swap. So I'm going to lock in Kyle Pitts here. Again, that doesn't sway us either side yet. Even though Kyle Pitts might have a big year, might have a down year, we don't know yet. Hurts, Olave, and Pitts, they're all people you would not be shocked to see on a championship-winning roster. So we still haven't pivoted either side yet. This is kind of where we have to think about it, though. Because we have someone like a Davante Adams. The second you draft Davante Adams, you got to go all in. You got to go win now. Because if you don't, you're going to end up wasting him on your roster. So we're now thinking, do you go Davante Adams or do you go like with a Christian Watson here? Or do we take a CJ Stroud, right? So again, it is a different kind of team altogether. This is the apex of the argument here for win now or that productive struggle. Okay. Now, it'll be pretty productive with Hurts and Olave and Pitts. What we're going to do is, because I think it is trickier to do this, we're going to try and run with this productive struggle. Okay. The easy option, I think, will be take Davante Adams and then load up later on some of these older running backs. Instead, we're going to take the younger receiver now. Or sorry, we're going to take the younger quarterback now, actually. And we're going to take CJ Stroud. And, oh no, actually, folks. We could very well take Kyler Murray here. And that makes it a huge risk. But that is definitely a perfect pick for a productive struggle. A guy that's going to miss a lot of time here, so we can't play him. But when he comes back in next year at full force, he's a slam dunk player. I think this is actually the best pick we can make in the fourth round. I'm taking Kyler Murray, but that puts us, boom. We know what we're doing now. We are not trying to win this year. We are looking for youth at the wide receiver position. We are ignoring the running back position. We're going to ignore tight end, I think, because Dalton Kincaid is there, who obviously I love. I would love to pick him up in the next round. I'm not going to take him in the 5th round of a startup. I think that's too much even for me. So I'm looking for youth at that wide receiver position. Jordan Addison is there. don't know why Quentin Johnson is going ahead of him when, just a few months ago in rookie drafts, Jordan Addison pretty unanimously above Quentin Johnson. Don't quite know what's going on with the ADP there. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to take Jordan Addison, and this puts us firmly now in that productive struggle. And speaking of productive struggles, goddamn, getting subscribers on YouTube, that's a productive struggle. You can help in right now, though. If you've made it this far, hit that thumbs up and that subscribe button. Keep us pushing forward towards, that target of 500, which I would love to get to. So if you can help with that, if you've made it 10 minutes in, hey, that would be absolutely amazing to help this productive struggle on the Dynasty hot seat here. So let's see who we still got available at wide receiver. I'm seeing someone flashing out at me here that really fits the mold of our team. That is Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams is there. He's not played much in the NFL, but came out with a huge hype train. I do like parts of George Pickens' game. I do like Brandon Ayuk. I do like parts of Treylon Burks' game. I see Jahan Dotson sneaking down there. We might be able to get him. Dalton Kincaid is still there as well, who obviously I like. I'm going to go, though, with Jameson Williams. I think Jameson Williams maybe has the most upside of all these guys here. And again, he fits that mold of we're not worried about winning this year, really. So Jameson Williams, he's a guy that's not really going to help us win this year. We want those better draft picks going into 2024, right? You don't want to deliberately tank, right? But a way to ensure that you're going to get those better draft picks is drafting Kyler Murray, is drafting Jameson Williams. Players that are really going to help your team down the line. But they can't do anything for you this year, really. So that's a good strategy to have. I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to take Dalton Kincaid, right? I think having Pitts and Kincaid, this is not a tight end premium league, but these are players that are so good at pass catching and the number 2 option, or number 1 if it's Pitts' case sometimes. I think having them in the flex position is a superb choice. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to take Dalton Kincaid, and now I don't have to worry about tight end for a decade if these two pan out the way they should. So that is awesome for our team. Don't have to worry too much about it. I'm tempted here to go with our third quarterback because I think if we wait longer than round 8, people like Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr, Brock Purdy, they're not going to go off the board. So I think just in the interest of fairness, I'm going to take one of them now because I think if I wait longer, that's kind of exploiting the ADP a bit too much. Hopefully you're in agreement here that taking them here isn't too egregious. So I'm going to go ahead and, you know what? I'm going to maybe reach them just because I want to make the ADP fair. I'm going to pick up a Brock Purdy in round 8. Brock Purdy, I think, is locked in to be the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. The fans love him. The coaching staff love him. Players love him. Trey Lance sucks. So Brock Purdy's the guy for me. I'm going to take him around 8. He's a young guy as well. He's someone that can come in and play while Kyler Murray is out. And Purdy might be the perfect third quarterback for your team. Because you're going to start Murray and you're going to start Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy's going to come in and he's going to score some good points for you while, the other two are on a bye week or are injured. So let's have a look. We're in round 9. That means to me, we can start thinking running back now. And there's a guy near the top of that list there. I'm loving this, Devon Achane. Devon Achane is now that guy at Miami, until free agency is technically over. But Devon Achane looks like he's going to be the main man at Miami. That system is tailor-made for running backs. I think that he could, if he's lucky, even be a running back 1 this year. That is the highest of his upside. So I'm going to take Devon Achane in the 9th round. And that's our first running back off the board. We got Hurts. We got Olave, Addison, and Jameson Williams in there. We got Pitts and Kincaid. We got Kyler Murray and Brock Purdy. Devon Achane is our first running back off the board. All right. Now, we could just leave it there with the running backs. And I think we might, looking at who's available. Yeah. So I'm looking now at continuing to build that youth at the wide receiver position. because I don't need to worry about tight end. We've got two amazing tight ends. I'm delighted. Rashad Bateman, all the talent in the world, cannot stay healthy. I think we still maybe have to take a punt on him here because we got Mingo and Rashee Rice and Gabe Davis, who again are just as much of a question mark as Rashad Bateman, but I think they have less talent than Rashad Bateman. So I'm going to bet on the talent here. Obviously, we know the Ravens are trying to pass the ball more. They have a couple of people that they've brought in. Obviously, they've got Zay Flowers, they've got OBJ, but I still think Bateman might be the guy there if he can keep himself healthy. And everyone loves number one wide receivers. And if you can get one in the 10th round, hey, absolutely laughing. And look, he's going around the same time like a Juju Smith-Schuster is going. So I think that's superb value for our Rashad Bateman. And is anyone standing out here in terms of the wide receivers available? Hey, I do love me some Brandon Cooks, but he's wasted on this team, okay? You may look now and see Brandon Cooks is a good example, okay? A guy there that you think, whoa, that's pretty good value. He's a good player. This team will have to get exceptionally lucky to win this year, all right? It is based on youth. It is based on next year when everything is going to start to align. If we bring in Brandon Cooks for this year, all that is going to happen is he is just being wasted on our rosters. You might think I can bring him in and trade him. It's going to be pretty hard to trade Brandon Cooks for any kind of value, all right? Are you going to get a second-round pick for Brandon Cooks? Maybe. Or are you going to pick a guy like Marvin Mims who's just went in the second round? So what you really want to do is try and get your whole team to come to this sort of stars align moment where they all start to produce at the same time. Now, obviously, you've got people like Jalen Hurts on this team, Chris Olave on this team, Kyle Pitts, Kyler Murray, who's obviously out though, who are already producing. But people like Jordan Addison and Jameson Williams, Devon Achane even, right? Dalton Kincaid, Rashad Bateman, Kyler Murray, obviously, who's injured. They're going to need a bit of time. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for players that might need a bit of time. And for me, I can see here on the board at the wide receiver position anyway, I see Marvin Mims, and I see someone who does interest me. It's Sky Moore. Sky Moore, coming out of training camp, has had fantastic reviews, and I know it's training camp, but I know that happens that everyone gets these. But Andy Reid's system is notoriously hard to play in. You're not just an X, you're not just this, you're not just that. You have to play every position. Sky Moore is coming off an amazing postseason, scoring a touchdown in the Super Bowl, like we all know. Everybody loved him coming out of college. Everyone got super excited when he went to the Chiefs, and now everyone's off him. I think we're forgetting it takes time for these receivers sometimes, okay? Even the greats don't come in right away and dominate right away, okay? I'm happy taking a risk in the 11th round on Sky Moore, who, with the injuries to Kadarius Toney and with the uncertainty of the rest of that receiving position, has a chance to be the number 2 target in a Patrick Mahomes offense. That is worth it in the 11th round for me. Absolutely. So we'll get Sky Moore locked in as our, 5th, 6th receiver coming off the board there. Absolutely love that. Someone here standing out to me immediately. Hey, look, Tajay Spears. Doesn't he just scream like this team? Yeah. We're not looking for now. We're looking for tomorrow. Prince Tajay, I've been calling him, right? The heir to King Henry's throne. He is ready to come in and take over that Tennessee Titans running back room. He looked amazing the whole way through last preseason. I think he's going to be a real solid player. And again, someone that we don't have to worry about producing this year. So he fits the mold of this team so well. So I'm super pleased to get Tajay Spears in there as only our second running back in round 12. So again, we're sticking to this 0 running back build. Let's have a scroll down here and see if anyone stands out. We've got people like Romeo Dobbs, who I do like coming into his second season. Yeah. Alex Pierce, I did like. We'll have to see what happens with Anthony Richardson, though. Tank Dell, Wandale Robinson. Some really interesting names here. Nico Collins is a very interesting one as well, just because what's happening in that Houston Texans wide receiver room. Darnell Mooney, someone who really disappointed last year. The guy is only 25 years old, though. Yeah. Only 25 years old. We've seen last year, we weren't too pleased with his production at all. He missed from week 12 onwards, you can see. But when he played, he didn't do that well. Let's be honest, okay? He didn't do great. I am still tempted by Darnell Mooney, though, to fill in a spot on this team. And in fact, let's go Darnell Mooney because I'm not seeing any other screaming value there. So let's get him locked in and see if he can be, a bit more released now that we got DJ Moore there in that team. Justin Fields throwing the ball a little bit more as well. This could be the breakout year for Darnell Mooney, and if it's not, he's going to be in serious trouble. Let's be honest. So let's have a look, and I'm going to switch over now and just look at the running back position. We've got people like Dwayne McBride in there who's got a chance to be a starting running back. That is what we're looking for now as well. People who have a chance, and to be honest, look and sell those guys, right? Dwayne McBride comes in, he gets some snaps. I'm selling that guy, right? All of these guys now are someone that you want to get a chance for. Kenny Gainwell, great target for later on as well, I believe, anyway. I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to lock up Dwayne McBride. Jerick McKinnon would be great for that win now style. Is Jerick McKinnon going to be on the Chiefs next year? He's on a 1-year deal. I doubt it. I think Jerick McKinnon doesn't have too much time left. So I'm going to go ahead, unless there's screaming value at tight end, which there is not, or screaming value at wide receiver. Nico Collins is there, who I do like. Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap up Nico Collins, actually, guys. I think I prefer him to old Dwayne McBride, who's got a bit of competition with Ty Chandler as well. And if McBride comes all the way back to us, we'll snap him up as well. So he'll probably go right now. No, he doesn't. Perfect. Zeke goes. So let's snap up to Dwayne McBride. Jerome Ford, an interesting one as well. Obviously, if anything happens to Nick Chubb, Jerome Ford will be the guy to step in there. But same thing at Minnesota. Madison seems to be the guy. How good is Alexander Madison, though? We don't really know. He's been a backup the whole time. Dwayne McBride is a violent, violent runner. Awesome to watch. He's going to do something this year. If he gets on the field, watch out. There's going to be a Dwayne McBride highlight. I'm pretty sure of it. When that happens, hey, I'm taking offers because that's what we want. We're going to build our team for next year. I want Marvin Harrison Jr. on my team next year, right? I want Caleb Williams on my team next year. I want Drake May on my team next year. Yeah. These guys that we know are difference makers in that class coming up. So let's have a look and see who is available. Older guys like Adam Thielen. Now we got some rookies, right? So, hey, what if we just click rookies only? Anyone standing out there? Not really. Michael Wilson has a chance at Arizona to do something, to carve out a role for himself. So I'm quite interested in that. Then we got people like Michael Gallup, who, is 27 years old, been very unlucky with injuries. He could be a guy that comes in this year, does well, and we could sell him on perhaps to a team that needs a receiver. I just find that unlikely. I'm going to go with the young guy, Michael Wilson, who's in an Arizona Cardinals team that nobody knows what's going on. We don't really know who's throwing the ball yet, but we know there's not a lot of competition there. So Mike Wilson could end up carving out a nice little role for himself here in this team. And if he does well his rookie year, that can continue to grow into years 2 and 3 whenever we're really looking to contend. Does anyone else fit this mold on this team? Man, kinda, right? Jelani Woods is an interesting one to bring in. But now we're sitting, in round 17. It's kind of hard to find value, right? Paris Campbell is there. Man, that guy loves getting injured, though. K. Dotton. It'd be nice to have a third tight end as well, and K. Dotton is a pretty good young tight end to have in your team. He's maybe the one actually there that is screaming the value in terms of our build. So why don't we go ahead and actually just take K. Dotton here and get our tight end room really, locked down with Pitts, Kincaid, and K. Dotton as well. That's the glitch we talked about from the sleeper. Apologies, folks. It is unfortunately impossible to fix with all these quarterbacks going off the board. And hey, a little tight end on there as well. So let's see who's available for our final pick. We got Justin Ross, again, a guy at that Chiefs team who could end up making a difference. I tell you what, though, a guy like Isaiah Hodgins, he came in and did well last year. I'm actually going to take him. Hodgins came in, did well at the Giants. The receiver situation is so unknown there, you cannot really say this person is the number one. Yeah. So I'm going to hope in round 18 that I've got a good piece of the pie from that wide receiver standpoint and picked up Isaiah Hodgins. Right. Let's have a look. We decided fairly early on, where was the pick? Boom. Round 4. This was going to be a productive struggle. So we're going to focus on tomorrow, not today. Let's see how we did. Feel free to give this team a little rating out of 10 if you want in the comments. That would be great. We got Jalen Hurts in at quarterback. We got Devon Achane and Tajay Spears as our running backs. Wide receiver, Chris Olave, Jordan Addison, Jameson Williams. Tight end, Kyle Pitts. Also Dalton Kincaid there. My guy, Dalton Kincaid. We got Rashad Bateman. Then we got Kyler Murray and Brock Purdy as our other quarterbacks. Love it. We got Sky Moore, Darnell Mooney, Nico Collins, Dwayne McBride, Michael Wilson, K. Dotton, and Isaiah Hodgins in there as well. Man, you know what? We were looking at productive struggle. We were looking at not competing this year. I'll tell you what, this team is not competing this year. I'll tell you that much right now. So what we're looking at is the building blocks for tomorrow. Who are we looking at for tomorrow? Jalen Hurts, yes. Achane, yes. Spears, yes. Those guys have a chance to be really good. Chris Olave, yes. Jordan Addison, yes. James Williams, yes. All these guys are players for tomorrow. Now, where do we need to strengthen still? Flex here, very weak. Not too pleased with the flex. The bench could use a little bulking out as well. But that is what we'll be able to hopefully fill in the 2024 draft. This team looks very, very different if all of a sudden you say your 3 receivers are Chris Olave, Jordan Addison, and Marvin Harrison Jr. Right? That's what we're going for. Yeah. During the season here, what I would be doing is I'd be selling off some of these running backs too. Yeah. Getting rid of some of the guys down here if they start playing. If Darnell Mooney starts going off, I'd be selling. Yeah. Dwayne McBride, selling. Some of these guys getting off the roster, looking for 24 picks, looking for the future. So there we have it. 0 running back, using a productive struggle. That is how it goes. There's obviously another way to do it when you get these veteran players as well to win now. Have a play around with that if you want. The productive struggle one a little bit harder. And of course, we talked about it's even harder because of that damn quarterback glitch that we got. So that's about worst case scenario if you're trying to build it. So hopefully I did an all right job. Thank you so much for listening and joining in. If you have not already, make sure you have hit that like and that subscribe button on the Dynasty Hot Seat. And if you've not, hey, you suck. How about that? How about that? You made it this far and you not hit it? You suck, guy. How about that? Not really. I love you. So thank you so much for joining, everyone. This series is going to continue on. We're going to go through a couple of more strategies. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Remember, for anything Dynasty you need to know, keep it locked on the Certified Inferno. See you next time.